All right, and we are live on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch and Twitter. We are just getting the Facebook going, so give us 1 second here, folks. All right, so let's see. And I believe we are live. So, all right, cool. All right, sorry about the delay, everybody. We're a little late with getting the show started. We had meant to do a pre-show or a post-show after the rally or before the rally, but what had happened was my flight got delayed and barely made it on standby because I missed my connecting flight, so we did not have time to do all that. So we are doing our update today. So, but first we have a breaking story, something out of where's it out of again? Angie?
It's St. Louis, but it's the east side, so it's right across the river. So it's really considered Illinois, but it's called East St. Louis, Sauget, Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell our viewers briefly what happened before we start playing that segment.
Okay, so Kyle's daughter and her boyfriend crossed the river to go to the gas station to buy some liquor, and when he went up to the store to get the liquor, the cops come out of nowhere and just started harassing him, like
Now,
giving him a hard time.
he is in a wheelchair, correct?
Yes, yeah, he's in
All
a
right,
wheelchair.
and what was he wearing that you said you think that is the reason they targeted him?
Well, he had an anonymous mask on, so I don't know if it was on his front of his face or on the back, because in the video it's on the back of his head.
Right.
But they said that he was there to rob the store, that he had a gun. Yeah, and that he was there to rob the store.
Now, tell our viewers what happened with that. How it was a legally owned gun from Missouri. Tell our viewers where exactly this located the place this is called, because it's kind of misleading the name of the location. It's actually in Illinois.
It's in Illinois, yeah. It's
okay, right across the river.
So the Mississippi comes between Illinois and Missouri, and East St. Louis and St. Louis City butt up to each other by the river. The river is what splits them apart.
So what about the gun laws in Missouri? Tell our viewers about that.
Well, the gun laws in Missouri are like pretty relaxed. You know, you can carry a concealed weapon without a permit. You know, just have to buy a legal gun and lawfully own it, and you can conceal it in public. So across the river, their laws are a lot stricter than Missouri. Like you have to have a FOID card to be able to carry a gun. You have to take a course to be able to conceal the gun. You have to have them in a box, you know, whatever, in the trunk, whatever, when you're traveling with them. I mean, they just have all these rules. I don't know. I just started looking at them last night.
Okay, so tell our viewers what happened, what they did, because he said this video was from like what, last year?
Yeah, they've waited a year to press charges against him, and then they didn't give him a warrant. They didn't mail anything. They didn't give him any notice.
He was legally registered to own that firearm in the state of Missouri, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tell our viewers what happened when this video that we're about to show went down, and what they did regarding his gun, and how they used it now to prosecute him unlawfully.
Okay, so he rolled up to the gas station, and I believe it's one of the gas stations where you can't go inside. You have to go to the window. So he rolls up. He has his anonymous mask on. He has a gun concealed. You can't see it. It's from what I understand, it was under his pants, like because he's sitting. He's in a wheelchair, so it was completely concealed. And the cops come out of nowhere, stating that he had a gun and that he was there to rob the gas station. And then where we come in at is where they're trying to like restrain him and arrest him, I guess, from what I can get from the video.
Okay. And so now they're trying to use that, even though he lawfully owned it in Missouri, they're trying to use that against him.
Yeah, and they're trying to give him, what was exactly the charge? It was 2 unlawful.
I'll bring it up right now. I have it right here somewhere.
Weapons. It wasn't that
it was 2 unlawful use of a weapon, resisting arrest. And he couldn't put his hands behind his back because of the fact that he was in a wheelchair.
Well, because he's disabled, right? And so he cannot physically put his arms behind his back. So because he couldn't do that, I guess they're claiming now because of that he was a resisting arrest.
Okay, so tell us what they've done to him while he's in lockup regarding his wheelchair.
His wheelchair away from him, so he's got no way to move about, like, or go to the.
That's fucked up, people. That's fucked up.
Yeah, so he's on a $50,000. Well, there is a 10%, but it's a $50,000 bond, and they've 2 unlawful charges with the gun.
All righty, so let's play that here for our viewers.
Oh, brother, stop! Stop! Move! Stop doing that dumb shit! Stop! The fuck?
I just recorded that.
Bro, get the fuck back on!
I just
He
recorded
started
that.
macing
We're not gonna
everybody.
record this shit!
I just recorded that. Don't come up to me and pepper spray me. I'm passed away. Do not pepper spray me. It's no shooter. It's not a shooter, bro. That's my. It's no shooter, bro.
Don't say that shit, bro.
Okay, but
Don't say that shit, bro. Stop, bro. That's go on with it. That's all low, bro. You good, bro. I got you. My mom, I got you. But stop! He in the wheelchair! Stop! He in the wheelchair! He in the wheelchair! Stop! Stop! The fuck you mean? He in the wheelchair! No, baby.
They keep pepper spraying us.
He in the wheelchair! Stop! Fuck is on? Don't give it, man. He in the wheelchair!
Why you guys can't just
It's
let him call his mother?
He can't, man, fuck that!
He's meant no harm to you. Let him call his mother.
This shit!
What is wrong with
He
you?
in the wheelchair! He in the wheelchair!
No, bro.
Stop!
I hate white people. You're mad your mother's
Stop saying that! His mama watching everything. Stop! Stop! Bro, stop! Bro, come help us, bro. He's fucking messing with him, bro. Stop! I'm finna fucking crash out, bro. I'm finna fucking crash out. I'm finna crash. I don't get no fuck. I don't get no fuck.
The car running, bro. Cable, listen to them. Cable, please listen to them.
Stop! Stop! His mama is on the phone watching everything. Record this. Get off. Yeah, just record this shit. Stop!
Stop resisting.
He's not resisting in the wheelchair. Fuck that. Arrest me now. Arrest me. Fuck all that.
Bro, put your hands behind your back.
Stop! His mother's on the phone. His mother's watching all this.
Listen, he can't put his hands. He can't put his hands behind them. He can't put his hands behind them.
He can't. He's in the wheelchair.
Yes, shit.
He's in the wheelchair.
He can't put his hands behind them.
He's paralyzed. He can't do shit. He can't do shit. What the fuck is y'all doing? Man, hell, we're paralyzed.
Bro, what are you grabbing your gun for? Oh, God, that's what I thought.
He's under arrest because he had a gun.
Right, it's registered to me. Right, it's good. It's registered. What the fuck?
Tell him to stop resisting.
He can't put his hands behind the handles, you fucking retard.
Back up.
Bag, his mother said.
Bro.
Bag.
He can't put his hands behind the handles, you fucking idiot. You fucking retard.
Hey, bro, your mama on the phone, bro.
He can't put his hands behind the handles, you fucking retard. You're a fucking idiot. Y'all get sued. I'm getting ready. Y'all get sued. Y'all gonna be mad. Like y'all gonna be. Hey, listen. They gonna be mad.
No, get the fuck back. Get back right now.
No, that's the beginning of the wheelchair. We're not no threat to you, bro. We're not no threat to you. We're not no threat to you.
You can record right here. I'll die by this nigga right here. That's my fucking brother.
He's fucking paralyzed. He's fucking paralyzed. He can't move. He's paralyzed. He can't feel a single part of his body.
That's my brother.
Bro, we are not no fucking threat to you, you fucking white bitch. You's a white bitch.
Hold this shit. They call it FBI and shit. I don't get no fuck. Man,
You's a white ass bitch. Look at you. You going through all this when they look up the gun, they gonna see it's clean. You fucking retard. They ain't locking me up. They ain't locking me up.
I
jail for him.
You better get the fuck back.
Just calm down.
I'll go to jail for him.
Just calm down.
Dog, they got me fucked up. I hate white bitches.
It's cool, bro. Just calm down.
3 steps. Everyone take 3 steps back. I know. I'm asking you to take 3 steps back.
They're cool with it. I'm just talking to you.
Baby, Cable! Cable, I love you. I love you.
Who is that at the corner?
She got the keys, but like, she got the keys.
Who is that?
I don't know. I know. Go. What?
That ain't no car. That ain't no car. You cool, bro. You cool.
I'm finna cry. I'm stressed.
Get back. Right now.
I don't get no.
You need that anyway.
Bag back, bro.
You don't need that, bro. You don't need that.
Hey guys, get to stepping. This officer told you to walk. That means fucking walk. Get loose.
Y'all get sued.
You know what? I got immunity.
You got a what?
Oh.
All right.
Did he just say he has immunity?
Did you hear that shit? Did you just hear that? I have immunity.
I heard that shit. Oh my god, dude, that's some bullshit.
So all these cops, you see all these cops coming in. They're coming in for the crippled kid in the wheelchair.
What the
Because
fuck?
he had a lawfully legal carried weapon that he just went across the river. You know, it's literally 2 minutes across the river. You know, 20 minutes you can go across the river, come back, get liquor,
Right.
and come back.
That's
right?
some straight bullshit, man. So tell our viewers why we aired this and how this is in relate. How do we know this this video?
This is my boyfriend Kyle's daughter's boyfriend, or fiance. Are they engaged? They're engaged. Fiance.
Okay.
So this is her boyfriend that she
Okay.
lives with. So yeah, they just went over there to get some liquor.
And see
come
what,
right
from what
back.
it looked like to me, they targeted him for 2 factors. One, the Anon mask, clearly, because they were trying to say, "Oh, you're trying to rob the store," and 2, in my opinion, because he's freaking black, and that's
Why
not
would
right
they-
either.
Why would they think he was trying to rob the store?
I don't know. They're just fucking with him. That's bullshit.
From what
That's
I
fucking
understand-
straight bullshit. I'm sorry, but I'm calling it.
gun.
That's fucking bullshit.
From what I understand, he had to tell him he had a gun, but they were already accusing him of having a gun. But from what I've been told, I don't have firsthand knowledge, you know, like I don't have facts, but I was
Right.
told they couldn't see the gun at all in the beginning.
Mhm.
That he had to tell him, and that he wouldn't pick it up because they're like, give us your gun, but he wouldn't do it. He just kept holding his hands out, you know, basically don't shoot, you know, he didn't want
Right.
to reach
What
for
else
the
would
gun
you
and
do?
get
I mean,
killed.
shit.
You know, he's already been shot once. That's how he became in the wheelchair.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I don't blame him. He don't want to get fucked up even more. I don't blame him. And then they
Right.
want to say he can't put his hands behind. Well, no shit, he can't put his hands behind his back.
What are
Doesn't
they gonna do?
constitute
Like, take him
resisting
around
arrest.
that
Like, get the
whole,
fuck out of here.
chair and everything. Like, what did they expect? And like, they
That's
yanked
some
on him.
bullshit,
He
man.
wasn't going anywhere. Like, I mean, he wasn't going to go too fast, too
You know,
far.
I know, and just from being associated with Anon in the past, and having been targeted by the feds because of it. Yeah, no, they definitely come after Anon's big time. Like, so it wouldn't have I mean, yeah, did his color, did him being in a wheelchair and the color of his skin probably play a factor into it? Yes, in my opinion, it looks like it did, which is wrong. It's bullshit. But this young man's freaking due process was violated unlawfully
and then
by
the other
corrupt,
person
fucking
comes up and
crooked ass
says,
fucking pigs.
I got immunity. What does that mean? I got immunity, that he can just do whatever he wants. He can just
That's
harass,
bullshit.
violate our due process.
He is not above the law.
I mean, what is I have immunity mean? Like, what?
I mean, it's the same kind of scenario like with the whole Bowles family case with the body cam footage from the Tulsa Police Department, and then the other ones too. How they were talking about, oh, I'm immune, I have immunity. Like, get the fuck out of here. You don't when you break the freaking law, motherfuckers.
I'd like to get the body cam footage from this, because
We should try. We should
when
definitely
all those
play it.
police came in, they made all his witnesses leave.
We
like,
tried to get Angie's boyfriend's daughter on, but we were unable to get a hold of her.
Yeah. So
We'll try again though in the near future if we're able.
I think her dad is trying still.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you
It's been a long night because, so here a year later, they still have his lawful gun. A year later, they put a warrant out for him without him knowing, and he's at the 7-Eleven, and they get him at the 7-Eleven, and now he's swooped off across the river into Illinois.
That's such
and,
bullshit.
They star chambered, from what I understand, they told everybody, like his mom and Serenity, not even to come to the court date, that they wouldn't be allowed in. So they
What
were
the
star
fuck?
chambering his bond hearing, because they told him that they wouldn't even be allowed into the bond
See,
hearing.
now they're doing this in the freaking criminal courts, people.
This is what happened to
See?
me. All of this has happened to me already, where they've star chambered, they took my gun, they star chambered my bond hearings, they held me on a unreasonable amount of bond. I mean, $50,000 for this.
Right. So why don't we segue into your update with for our viewers? Tell them most recent update regarding your case with your family court hearing ruling.
Okay, so the judgment came in,
And you can go ahead and share your screen whenever you're ready. Go ahead.
okay, yeah, the judgment came in, and they did award him sole legal and sole physical custody, with nothing marked out really for any parenting or any kind of time for me. All it says is therapeutic therapy, but it doesn't say how often, how much. And there's only one man in the country apparently that can do this therapy for us. There's nobody else, just this one person. And there's a waiting list supposedly, and you have to get on the list and whatnot. But
so how the fuck are you? Do they expect you to do this if you can't even if there's a waiting list and I mean, that's a catch-22. You're fucked.
Well,
You're damned if you
doing
do,
this
and
the
you're
whole
damned if you
time.
don't. Excuse my language, but they pretty much put you in a position where you're fucked.
Well, once they took her, I knew I would never get her back. And they've just done it this whole time. Like the GAL would do it all the time. She's like, I want you guys to reunite. And then we were listening to that audio earlier where I was like, why is her testimony going to be on WebEx? Because I didn't want her to miss school. The reason it's on WebEx is because that's what I requested, and I didn't want her to miss school. But the whole time she does this testimony that day, she was at home. She never was at school that day. So, I mean,
Oh,
that's
wow.
just the way to stop. If she would have brought her in for her testimony, I would have got to see my daughter face to face, which I hadn't seen her in almost a year at that point. This was November. It was February of that year, that she was taken. So February all the way to November, and they won't even bring her in town so I can see her face to face while she does her
That's
testimony
such
in court.
bullshit.
Yeah, but at the same time she's doing all this, in the same breath, she's telling me that she wants me and my daughter to have a relationship, and that she wants to facilitate some of
Such
these.
a freaking narcissistic, hypocritic bitch, huh?
Yeah, totally. I completely agree. Like, oh, I can't stand her.
You want to play that audio? You know what? I have the audio clip.
Audio that I wanted to play. So I've cut from like the last 4 years. I put some audio together just as it goes through, kind of like a timeline with some audio clips.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen and make sure to share your sound, and then show our viewers.
Why are we in court again? I don't think you ever answered that.
Don't forget to share your screen,
I'm
Ange.
just doing that.
Okay.
On drugs too, right? Your attorney.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
Yeah, to the judge. They want to drug test your daughter. Were you gonna act surprised? You don't. Oh, this is all news to you, my ass. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. Dang, sorry guys. I'm gonna start that over. I don't want to hit the wrong button again. Sorry. And why are we in court again? Why are we in court again? I don't think you ever answered that. And why are we in court again? Sorry. Are we in court again? I don't think you ever answered that.
All right, go ahead. You got it? Oh, we can't hear it, Angie. You're going to have to share your sound.
The judge, they want to drug.
There we go. I think you got it.
And why are we in court again? Why are we in court again? Because I don't think you ever answered that.
Because I have suspicion that you're on drugs.
Right. And Delilah's on drugs too, right?
Who said that?
Your attorney.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
Yeah, to the judge. They want to drug test your daughter. Well, you gonna act surprised? You don't. Oh, this is all news to you, my ass.
Well, why do they want to drug test our daughter?
You tell me, James. Why would you tell your attorney that I'm doing drugs with my fucking kid?
Well, are you gonna have
How
with the loud?
how fucking dirty and low are you that you use your kid for a fucking pawn, dude?
There needs to be a significant change for there to be a flipping custody like that. Like, there's got to be something seriously wrong with you.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, if we've got to be talking a drug issue, she's doing horrific in school, she's not getting to school.
He's telling me one story then another story, telling me that you're okay with me smoking pot, telling me that James
I never said I was okay with you smoking pot. I didn't say pot was an issue for me. What I'm saying is that there's more allegations than marijuana, and marijuana is still legal in the state of Missouri.
They have made drug allegations against you, and Venus said, let's just have her do a drug test and put those to bed.
The court requested the drug testing based on allegations.
Say that she was partaking in marijuana, but the allegations weren't just from him. There was allegations. It was also from other parties that made the allegations that she might be doing more than just marijuana.
Well, that's secondary. I mean, here's my concern. If you don't have $300 to take a drug test, then I'm going to put you in jail and you're going to sit there. And then I want to be real clear about what that's going to do. If you're not there to take care of your daughter, I'm transferring custody to dad. That means she gets on a plane the day I put you in jail, and she's sitting then in Montana and going to school in Montana.
Okay.
So you've got to weigh what's more important.
I don't have the $300.
You don't have to have, ma'am. I'm not here to argue with you. I issued an order. You don't have to pay anything. You have to show up. Are you going to show up for a drug test?
I'm not going to take a hair follicle.
Then you're going to grab a seat, and I'm going to have them take you into custody right now.
Whoever's going to hold her till she transfers custody.
She's not going with him.
Yeah, she is.
No, she's not. I have 5 days to take a drug test, she said.
No, the judge said that you're refusing to do it, so she's saying you're being taken into custody right now.
How does this happen before we even go to a trial?
You
stop just blowing me off and explain to me?
Ma'am, nobody's blowing you off.
You're not telling me anything.
I've explained it to you. The judge explained it to you 4 times.
I don't understand if this is, because 1 minute I'm being told this is not a criminal case, and the next minute I'm being told I'm going to jail, and my daughter's being ripped out of me, out of my hands.
She made it clear to you. She's the judge. It's an order. It's not a suggestion. It's an order.
I'm not giving up my kid.
You're going to be in jail.
You're going to be in jail.
That doesn't mean that I have to give up my kid.
Yes, it does. Oh, yeah, it does.
She's 13.
She's entering the order right now.
They're not taking her.
Yeah, they are. Right now. She's going to be on a plane tonight.
No, she won't.
So you're refusing to say who should go and get custody of her at the house right now?
She's not at the house.
Where is she?
I'm not giving my kid up. I'm sorry. I missed you a lot. I miss you a lot too, baby. I wish you were home.
This was cuddle. Potential problem analysis here. Should we set the TRO for Wednesday next? So that if there's a no-show, we have something to proceed upon?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be able to proceed upon this consent order, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind continuing.
I want to make this clear to you because, like I said, this can be done the easy way or this can be done the very hard way. And the hard way is going to be a lot more negative for Delilah than if you just bring her to court and let her be taken back by dad. Okay? I'm Miss Freiner.
Why in the world would you do this to your own kid?
No soul. No heart, no compassion, no empathy. No care for anybody. People that care about other people don't. This is ego.
I just want to blame you alone.
I know. I'm sorry.
Is that the audio from the recording ends in the background?
Maybe.
The whispering going on?
There's no evidence. How did you this up? This is what I'm telling you. Nobody knows my emotions more than I do. And nobody can say my experiences are not valid because I was the person that experienced it. I understand. So I understand. No, you don't understand. You understood what a person could build a child molester. No, Delilah.
Now that more judges are being called out and named, I'm sure it has gotten their attention, but this threatens to take down the entire system.
And that's going to be the plan. Uncle was able to fly out and needs to head back pretty soon, so we're going to be moving pretty quickly with the discharge. I'm going to let Miranda know she can reach you once she's kind of...
Okay. Mr. Freiner, I've recused myself from your case.
Okay.
In order that you should be receiving soon.
Okay, did...
My kid, you trafficked my kid with the fucking courts.
The court said that you can't have your kid because they know that you're a bad mom too.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Have some meetings because my understanding is you have not connected with her.
I don't even know where Delilah is. I haven't known where Delilah's been for 8 months.
Okay, well, I'm telling you she's in Montana with her dad. I think my understanding is she's been there since July, that she was in a treatment program. I guess because your daughter doesn't want to talk to you or see you, and that's the problem.
I don't believe that. When she didn't want to talk or see her dad, they forced her into it. They made her talk to him. So where's the making her talk to me so I can hear it from her?
Well,
That's some straight bullshit. People, I want you to get angry because they're doing this to a lot of people's kids.
Angela, I tried to arrange a visit, with you and Delilah through DRS.
And then I ran out of time. So that was all there is.
Oh, that's all we got? Okay.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and stop sharing if you want, or you just go bring up the PDF. Why don't you?
Well, this is just the judgment.
But bring up the PDF I sent you. You should bring that up.
I have that.
All right, cool. Bring that up so our viewers can read it, the parts that you want to cover. And explain for our viewers the context and about the reality of what happened when you're reading, after you read each part that you wanted to cover, and just like tell them the reality of what happened. And fucking, it's obvious they're committing freaking fraud. There's plenty of evidence. They're just ignoring it. It's bullshit.
In the audio that we just listened to, the very first clip that we heard, that is a conversation between James and I in 2019. They didn't accuse me or saying that Delilah had drugs in her system actually officially until 2021. So that's how ahead of time this was planned out. You know what I mean? Like that was 2019 and they were setting up the
narrative.
Yes, thank you. The narrative in 2019. And I'm calling them out in 2019, telling them that you're really going to do this, or you're really that low, you're that big of a piece of shit that you're going to use your kid like this. And he did, and he went all out. I mean, he went all out. She's cost them, he said in court, $50,000 to do this, to do this.
Wow.
$50,000 he's paid for her.
Wow.
Instead
That's
of just
such
letting
bullshit.
her go there on the summers and when she wanted to, like it had always been, but no, he paid $50,000 to traffic her across the country and cut me out of her life.
That's such bullshit. And the court system was fucking complicit in doing this.
And you cannot deny that he's intentionally cut me. They've cut me, and the courts helped him. Like this was all done.
It was
together.
orchestrated, people. It was premeditated. It was with with malice of forethought.
Yes, no, this was their way of making money. This is their trafficking. Not to mention, and I didn't even cut any of that audio in from when they tried to come take her with the TOR that wasn't lawful, that never became lawful at all, ever. You
Did
know,
that video play the audio that we had cut earlier for the promo? Did that video you just played for our viewers, did it have the audio from the promo that we used? No, here, let me play that for our viewers real quick.
Okay.
Let me bring it up. All right. Share screen, share sound.
But what I don't understand, Ms. Freiner, is, and you're not the only parent I tell this to, and you're not the way you felt, but, you know, if you could have these Zoom calls with your
because
daughter.
I didn't do anything wrong. If I take your Zoom call, no, listen, if I take your Zoom calls, it's like saying I did something wrong or that what they did was right. What they did was not right. What they did was take my daughter against her will and traffic her across the country against my wishes and hers. After she disclosed sexual abuse. So if I agree to that, then I'm just saying everything that the courts have done is okay, and then they have more control over me. And right now, they have no control over me. And I'm not giving them back that power.
You're not connecting with your daughter.
No kidding. And that's because of the court.
No, right now I'm giving you the opportunity.
No, the court.
To have some visits with
the
her,
court has taken my rights, took my rights away from me, and took my kid and trafficked her across the country. You're giving me an opportunity to have more control over me and to have something to say about what I do or when I do it. I should freely be able to call my daughter whenever I want. I have done nothing. He is sexually abusing her, and yet he has custody of her. That makes no sense. These courts are half-assed backwards.
Okay, Ms. Freiner, I was just trying to facilitate something. I understand your anger.
And I'm not.
You know, and if you listen when she says, I didn't do anything wrong, Kim Whittle says, I know. So if you're paying attention, she knows. She's admitting to it that they're complicit in this shit.
Right. And I mean, with all the audio, all the recordings and everything I have and all their actions and all my actions in court and everything that's gone on, there's no way that you can deny what has gone on here. And what's going on in so many cases across the country. I mean, this is genocide. This is an attack on families.
It is.
They're not going to stop unless we stop them. And
we have to get angry, people. We have to get mad enough to freaking do something about it and bring the whole freaking system down.
That's going to take the crowd, like the crowd they had in Washington over the weekend. It's going to take that kind of crowd being at all these hearings with these parents that are fighting for their kids.
Yep. We need court watchers to show up for Angie's trial on August 1st. We need people to show up and put eyes on these freaking bastards so they can't do any more freaking Star Chamber bullshit or any of this other fucking shenanigans that they're trying to pull.
Right, because the family court case is over with. I lost that unless I appeal or do something else, figure something else out.
So wrong.
Now it's the criminal case, which the criminal case is deeply rooted in this whole child trafficking.
They're retaliating against her to try and silence her because she's called them out and exposed them.
Yes.
That's what's going on here, people. She has no whistleblower protection right now, and she has due process and right to whistleblower protection under the law, but nobody's enforcing it.
Nobody, no, they won't give me that. And so they're not even wanting, like, she hasn't even put any facts upon the record. So, the attorney that they're trying to stick me with, like, joined her to me, like attach them to me, told me that they were going to put the judge on the bench or on the stand to cross-examine, because I'm going in not as pro se, but just as a woman to handle her business. And so I'll be the one to question her.
She's going to freaking rip them a new one. And there damn well better be some freaking clear. That's why we need people there. Because if they try to pull any shit that's that obvious, we need people to say, we're not doing that.
That's the only way they can. If they don't put the judge on the stand during that trial, then they are blatantly just stomping all over me and my due process. And they'll be doing that in front of a jury. So will a jury allow it? Will they have a fixed jury? Because
that's the question.
I mean, you just heard just a tidbit of audio that I have. That was nothing of what I have, all that. So if you've heard that in just that 2 minutes,
Angie's got she's got at least days and days worth of recording and footage.
I got tons of recordings I've been recording from the beginning. So, and I've made most of it public. Like I haven't held on to it, and I haven't been quiet about it. I've been pretty blatant and loud about it, because that's the only way we're going to do anything, is we have to be loud, and I knew that I would have to sacrifice my
Tell
time
our
with my
viewers
kids.
what Lovisa means.
It means loud warrior.
There you go. So our podcast name is Sacred Loud Warrior. That's what it means, people, for those who didn't know. But I thought our viewers might like to know that little insight, because it's actually pretty clever. I like it.
Thank you. But unless we start getting loud, and, I knew that I was going to give up time with my daughter, that I would lose time with her. And I knew if they got her, I wouldn't get her back. But her and I, we talked about it before we ever went in court that day. We knew what we were getting into. I don't think we quite knew how deep in shit we were getting. We didn't know we were going to get knee deep in shit. And that we'd be separated like this.
More like elbow deep in shit, sounds like to me, based on what you've been through, Ange.
We knew we didn't. I never thought we'd get separated like this for like this long or anything, but we knew we were going up against a battle, that we had a battle on our hands,
Right.
because I didn't want my daughter to lay down to what she was saying and let just the system take her and sweep her away without her having a voice. That child had a voice, and she needed to use it.
And then they suppressed that voice by sending her with her freaking father. And then Nicole Zellweger, the freaking bitch, recused herself, and yet somehow,
well,
no accountability. What the hell's going on here?
Kathleen Shaw, his attorney, was like she's the only one that stayed consistent in the whole case. So she was there from the beginning to like this end, right? The only one. Every other player, every other character changed out. So she was the one orchestrating and the ringleader of the trafficking of my daughter.
It had to be.
Well, in this case, they all get to be ringleader. It just depends on how the case ends up being set up, like who gets the attorney first and how the paper gets filed. It all, but it's all the same play. So this time around, in my particular case, Kathleen Shaw was the ringleader in everything. She's the one that stayed consistent. Pay attention, who's in the beginning and who's there at the end.
Right.
Probably be one attorney.
Right.
If you're smart enough and get rid of your attorney. You have to come up to, find that realization on you. Nobody can tell you.
Oh, yeah. Because your attorneys, like in your case, your attorneys weren't even ones that were paid for, weren't even working for you. They were working for the court.
No. I've been through like 8 attorneys. Like they were setting me up and going behind my back and doing like crazy stuff, just like crazy things. Right. And I could see it and I knew it, from like the beginning. But, you see it and then you like get rid of one attorney and then think, okay, well, maybe there's a good one out there, because everybody tries to say that, right? Because you want to see the good.
I'd like to believe that, but with the fact that Cogburn Law, yeah, I'm calling you bastards out again, you motherfuckers. You took a payoff and you freaking wasted 5 months of our time for my mother's lawsuit, only to tell us 5 months later, oh, there's no case that has no legs, and telling us that Sage Creek and Sunrise are saying that, according to the paperwork, that she had blisters before she fell. Get the fuck out of here. If she had blisters before she fell, she would not be able to have driven as a Domino's pizza delivery driver the day before she fell. So get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You got paid the fuck off, Cogburn Law, and I'm going to call you out. Sorry, I had to go on that little round. I'm pissed about that.
No, because they're all in bed together. That's big pharma, with the legal system, and they're all in bed. They're all scratching each other's backs, and they all know what the hell they're doing and what's going on. Don't think that these people don't know what they're doing, because they're if I'm aware of it, they sure the hell are aware of it, because they're the ones doing it.
Definitely.
If
I mean, look at their actions, what they're claiming, what they're doing, what they're not doing. It's very clear as day. You can establish intent that way. And it's pretty obvious. They're just ignoring the freaking evidence that implicates them. They're not going to implicate themselves. They're going to try and get out of it. So that's what they're doing, people. They're using this criminal trial to try and prosecute or persecute. Really, it's not even persecute to persecute her and silence her because she called them out.
Yeah, and they can do it up to 7 years.
Angie is a loose end for these people. That's basically what it amounts to. And that's what they're trying to do, is silence her and shut her up.
Because I don't stop. I haven't stopped.
Well, I'll definitely say this. You are definitely the sacred Lovisa for sure.
Well, I haven't stopped. I mean, they took my freedom for 2 weeks. Shoot, I was calling and that stuff was being recorded and going on YouTube while I was in jail and stuff. So I, even when I was locked up, I was still being pretty loud, actually, courtesy of Jonathan Cross. But yeah, like,
Let's hear it for Jonathan Cross. Whoop whoop.
yeah. So, you know, with his help, I was still being able to be loud from, you know, behind the bars in my locked cell for 23 days or 23 hours a day.
I mean, shit. What the work he did ended up getting Megan Fox involved in that one, didn't it?
Well, she was involved first.
Okay, gotcha.
And then because of Megan and Mike Velope, he got wind of it. And that's how I ended up meeting Jonathan Cross. We've just been good friends ever since.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I had actually contacted Mike, like most everybody that goes through this, when you start looking and you're scattering, you're trying to find help in an organization or somebody to do something to make it stop, because you know, your kid just got taken or whatever, and you're just grasping for anything. Well, there's nothing to grasp, right? Well, what you find is Mike Velope, and then you contact Mike Velope, and he ended up introducing me to Megan Fox. She ended up doing my story, and then everything at that time just kind of fell in on itself. You know, the GAL video came out. I had been recording. He released the recording from that hearing the day they took my daughter, you know, and then I've just been, you know, putting stuff out there ever since. So, and you know, they wrote quite a few articles.
So tell our viewers, for those who don't know, what happened the following the following summer with how you were smeared by Fox, and tell our viewers what happened, and tell about the emails Evita sent, and then the reason she gave the court, the reason she gave you for choosing not to represent you anymore, and then the Fox podcast that happened a few months later, which is where they ultimately ended up trying to smear you at, which is total bull, but we can prove this with the email and then you know, the two different reasons that Evita gave. So this is we can prove this beyond a shadow of doubt, people. We got documented proof to prove this to be the case.
After the grand jury indictment, Evita Tolu told me she wasn't competent enough to handle my case, you know, that she was going to withdraw, that I needed like a good lawyer, you know, to handle this case. And so she tells me this. She talks about some sovereign citizens in this email, sends me some articles on the sovereign citizen stuff, and sends me some links to some like pro bono places, like, you know, the whatever those organizations, what's that one where like they help people that are unlawfully jailed get out or whatever. I can't remember the name of them. It's an organization here in St. Louis, and I think it's other places. But she gave me, anyway, she gave me links to these organizations to try to get an attorney to get some help and whatnot. And then when I get the filing, the withdrawal filing, she had told the courts another story. She her withdrawal said that she could no longer represent me zealously because her life has been threatened. But she wrote it in a way that it sounded like I was the one threatening her. And the judge took it that way. He even told me in my arraignment that he was only going to assume or presume that I was the one that was making the threats, and that if anybody else came and told him that they were being threatened, he was going to throw me back in jail.
So
my bond.
What was the reason that Evita gave you in the email? In the emails, and if you do you know where it is off the top of your head? I'd love to bring it up for viewers to show them.
It's in the simple booklet, I believe, in the 2021.
You want to bring that up and screen share here for a minute so our viewers can see the proof for themselves? And then if you got the reason she gave the court there too, that would be great. Plus the
and why are we in court?
Give her just a moment, folks. She's getting that ready.
Yeah, so she tells the court that her life had been threatened and that she could no longer represent me, tells me she's incompetent. And then I don't know how long after that, couple, I don't know, months later or something, they're trying to smear me on Megan's show, saying that I'm a sovereign citizen and trying to put me basically on a domestic terrorist list, because that's what happens to those people that claim that to be sovereign citizen. I've never claimed to be sovereign citizen at all, ever. And, it really is an oxymoron to say sovereign citizen, because really the only sovereign citizen is really like the judges in them, if you think about what it means to be a sovereign citizen.
You find it in okay, Ange?
I have it. Yeah, no, it's pulling up.
All right.
What does a sovereign citizen mean, Stephen?
Let's bring up the definition for our viewers. I'll share my screen real quick. So we can.
Okay, and let me know.
Okay. So according to dictionary, shit.
Dictionary, just
Is it dictionary? I don't know what the heck. It doesn't tell me the URL. It doesn't tell me the URL. Let's go to a different one.
You should always go to the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, but it has to be 1828 first. You should always start there.
All right.
It's got to be at least the 1828 dictionary. Boy, I'm still shocked that cop said that he had immunity like that. On camera and everything. He just, because he knows those kids didn't know what he was talking about.
Right. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just read this definition right here. A member of a political movement of people who oppose taxation, question the legitimacy of government, and believe that they are not subject to the law. It kind of sounds like Antifa to me.
It kind of sounds like the judges.
It sounds exactly like Antifa's MO, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So yeah, they were trying to shoot. Also, what was the document you were filing on your behalf that your buddy Rocky put together for you? What was the name of that document?
The writ of habeas.
Okay, so she was filing her writ of habeas, and her lawyer basically went off and said, "Oh, I cannot support these statements because they're the statements of sovereign citizens."
Filing anything. She was just looking over my case.
Oh, really?
Filed anything. They were just in. I took.
But no, but there was something that in the email.
Right. There was.
He said, "I have reviewed the petition you left with me last week regarding." Filing for declaratory relief with the Supreme Court of Missouri. I tried to read it, but honestly, I could not understand what it said and what relief it requested. Whoever drafted it has no training in law. The document advances many of the sovereign citizen arguments, which it does not. It's a declaratory relief document she was filing that somebody helped her put together, and then Jovita just went off on this total fear-mongering thing to try and scare her. Exactly. And it didn't work because there's like, what the heck?
Well, it did. It stopped me.
Well, it did temporarily, but
I was like,
but it was like, what the hell?
Sovereign citizen, because as you go, like
there was nothing in that document that said that had anything really even close to a sovereign citizen. It was explain for our viewers what that document was for declaratory relief.
When you don't have a law degree, you're not familiar, there's all this different, there's legalese and there's, statutes and you don't have a clue, you don't know.
But it wasn't the declaratory for relief for the filing fee, I believe.
It was for relief for my daughter. It was to get my daughter back.
Okay, got you.
Basically, it was to get my daughter back, because they took her on no basis, basis. They were violating all their statutes. It was completely unlawful. Just all of our amendments got ripped apart during all this. Like there at some point we had none. They trampled on all of them. I mean, they even took my gun. You're on mute.
Oh, I said I got the video that where Megan Fox smears you and the time code. I'm going to bring it up for our viewers.
Okay.
You want to stop sharing your screen so our viewers can see this real quick?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No worries. We'll get. I'll have you reshare once we get done because this is important. I think people see this. This was September 15th, 2021, and the Vita email was May 8th, 2021. People, okay?
Other people, they're punished through it, and in this case, there's going to be an arbitration later this month to find out if Shull's lawsuit is legitimate. But And then also one other thing Alina wanted to say, he never hit her, and he treated her kids well that she had previous to him. So Schultz isn't completely bad, but it does sound like he's got an alcohol problem. All right, anything you wanted to add on that, or are we good?
No, but there is something going on in the comments I'd like to address, which is that it appears that Angela Freiner might be in more trouble with the.
I want you to see here, folks. Right here, that is not the accurate story, Stacy, and that's referring to Stacy Williams, okay, out of Missouri as well, the one who's doing the documentary. Okay, they removed her comment up here, okay, and then put their, but left her response, and then you'll hear why. You'll understand why here in a minute. You'll hear it.
They're accusing her of more death threats, and someone in the comments, and I've heard this online a lot, bringing up Evita Tolu. Evita represented Angie Freiner for a while, but unfortunately, and they're saying in the comment section that Evita quit on her. That is not accurate. That is not an accurate description of what happened. Angie did not want Evita's help anymore. Angie has decided that she wants to go with the sovereign citizen people who.
You hear that, folks? There it is. And this is what, how many months later? June, July, August, 3 months later.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we know that Vita's been on her podcast many times. So clearly this was an orchestrated attempt to smear her.
But all of this takes place, mind you, it was after the indictment. So like the courts and everybody had to move to the indictment so that I was secure and locked. I was locked in at that point, right? So now
they can do that. Yeah, of course.
Now they can do whatever, because, I had Evita walking me through into the indictment without file. There were certain things she could have filed to like maybe stop the case, like way.
You want to bring up that the reason she gave the court for leaving?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking for it now. But the funny thing is that I have some bond notes. There was this woman that took notes at my bond hearing. I don't know what she does. She took great notes, but she actually took bond notes of my hearing and gave them to me. And in the bond notes, it says it plain and clear. If I would be found to have threatened anybody else, I would go back to jail on that bond, that $75,000 cash only bond. I would be re-jailed if I was threatening any other people, So for her to say that, to make it seem like I was the one threatening her, is really mean. Like, I mean, I don't know what else.
It's total bullshit, and it's clearly an orchestrated attempt to silence Angie and tear her down and smear her. It's clearly an orchestrated attempt by her lawyer. One, so either her lawyer got paid off or somebody got paid off. But clearly, Megan Fox also got paid off because, we could see that with the podcast a few months later, and then the email that Evita sent, which was May 8th, 2021.
I'm not saying one way or another because I don't have any facts.
Well, I mean, just to me, circumstantially, it's a really, really big red flag to me.
All I want to say is that really be careful.
I'm saying we should start questioning who,
like what you listen to,
who we think are certain people are maybe our allies. Like, not
even that. With the media, when you think it's not the main media and it's the mom and pop, and they're, I'm getting real information here. Just be careful because you
never know. Even in the alternative media, we got a bunch of disinformation there too. I mean, look what Fox did. She jumped all of a sudden on the alternative media podcast scene right when your case started. And I mean, come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. That's pretty obvious to me.
Well, just for the fact what she was saying about me was a lie. All of it was a lie.
That too, yeah.
So that right there that woke my eyes up to a lot of things, actually, like about where I get my news sources and how much I believe what they're saying. And, like I really pay attention to things, you know what I mean? So that was the recusal order. Hold on. I'm sharing my screen, right?
Oh, no, you're not yet.
Oh, sorry. That was when all the judges recused themselves. So how are they still hearing my family case if nobody in that courthouse can hear my criminal case?
Right, exactly. It's a double standard. It's fucking color of law bullshit is what it is.
Say, just the family. It says the entire circuit recused themselves from the case. So
that's the entire circuit of St. Louis County Court. The entire circuit recused themselves, folks, on her case. Okay, what does that tell you?
They didn't have to do that. That's just it. They didn't have to recuse themselves because they're not there to judge. That's what.
So why would they then? What would be the reason they would do that for viewers? Well, my theory would be because they were exposed by that leaked Zoom call and a few other things and the recordings that you leaked.
A lot of people don't realize the day that leaked Zoom call was released was the same day they took my daughter from me, when they trafficked my daughter to the children's hospital. So that video released that day that my daughter was being trafficked, as they're calling themselves Kids for Cash on the, it goes on across the airwaves or whatever. They're actually performing their duty.
What is this page here on the right?
That is the Missouri State Public Defender that they kept denying me. They wouldn't give me one.
Okay.
I think I was born in jail, sitting in jail, had nothing to do. I was like, yeah, I'll fill out some paperwork.
Oh, that's too funny.
But yeah, this is the whole entire circuit recused themselves off the case. So I don't even know how they were able to hear the family court case. But I brought up that Zoom call a lot in that family case. Didn't matter though. I even filed the transcripts to the leaked Zoom call in my family court case. They're on the record in the filing.
They ignored it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's in the filing. Because I was filing to have the GAL removed or contempt because she was not a good match for me and my family, because she was on that phone call and so was Venus Jackson, and they were colluding about trafficking kids, that I didn't find that she was a good somebody to represent my child, that she didn't need to be the one. She couldn't hold that position. But
can you say conflict of interest?
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Conflict of interest much? What's her name again?
Kimberly
Venus
Whittle.
Jackson.
Venus Jackson and Kimberly Whittle.
Venus Jackson and Kimberly Whittle are corrupt GALs. Okay, that's what you need to know. Corrupt and complicit GALs.
Very corrupt. They are very corrupt. That's the whole circuit is. The entire 21st Circuit is completely corrupt. Like the entire circuit. So that was the third bond hearing. So it's shortly after this stuff that her withdrawal of being, because this is pretty much in a timeline.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is all of what's going on in between that and the indictment. I mean, when the court comes into your life, when they put their hands in your life, I mean, they really get into your life. Like, it's something, always something, because I had two cases running together. Here's my denial from the Attorney General. I got this a couple days after I was arrested. No. Like a month after I was arrested. It was April 9th that the Attorney General was like, I can't help you.
Wow.
I mean, I wrote up to him about my daughter, like my daughter being taken and stuff. And Eric Schmidt was like, nothing I can do for you.
That's
piss
fucked
off.
up.
Piss off. So there's the indictment. And the funny thing about the indictment is the judge could go in as a witness for the indictment, but won't go on the record for the actual charges.
Okay, so what's this right here? This is your notice of termination, right?
This is
24th day of May, 2021. Oh, exactly 1 year ago today.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
That's funny. Yeah.
What are the odds? A year anniversary today from when you
and then this
wrote
is
that.
The motion to withdraw.
Okay,
And
cool.
This was on the 26th of May.
Wow. Okay, the 26th. Oh, wow. Wow. Comes now Evita Tolu, attorney of record for defendant Angela Freiner, and respectfully moves this honorable court to grant Evita Tolu's motion to withdraw as attorney of record for the above named defendant. My family and my life have been threatened, and I can no longer represent defendant zealously under these circumstances. So she gave the court a completely different reason than she gave Angie. Folks.
Yeah, but the way she wrote it really open-ended, don't you think? Like,
well, the way I took it was that somebody got to
you
her.
can take that
When I
as
first read that,
someone.
I took it as if somebody got to her,
Well, the first time I read it, I didn't think nothing of it much, really.
Uh-huh.
And then I read it again, and that's when I seen it like, holy shit, she just like set me up. Like that the first time I didn't see it. And then the second time when I read it, I seen it a whole nother way. And I was like, what the hell? Because I knew
Right.
that I could go back to jail for that.
They straight tried to set you the fuck up. And they still are.
James's brother knew. That's why he went and filed an order of protection against me in the state of Arizona. And then playing on their narrative of when I got caught with the gun, that I had a gun in a suitcase because I was going to go harm the judge and then take off out of town. He played that up in Arizona in the courts and got an order of protection or actually ordered against me, but it wasn't lawfully served, and they've never come back to serve it. So it's not a good order of protection at this point.
Wow.
But if it would have been served properly and the courts here would have got wind of that, there would have been a chance they would have put me back in on that $75,000 cash only bond, and I would have sat until my trial in August.
Oh, wow. That's
Crazy.
insane. Like that. I mean, and this is like right in St. Louis, Missouri, folks. St. Louis County, Missouri. So this is like you think Ozarks and stuff like that, dude. We've seen a lot of weird connections with like cash purchased homes and stuff. With like when we did some background searches on Evita Tolu and some other people connected to her and connected to this case. So there's clearly, I mean, to me that indicates money laundering, if you ask me. But we're still looking into that. We have not had a chance to fully really vet that, but we're digging down the rabbit hole as deep as we can, and we're coming up with the evidence for you guys. But that's what it's indicating, at least to me, from what I've seen, you guys.
These emails here prove that those attorneys that I thought were helping me with Evita were actually colluding together to take my house from me. Actually, they were colluding behind my back. I finally got my landlord's email. I emailed him, and he emails me back, and he's like, I'm not sure the messages that your attorney relayed to you from my attorney, but at no time did I offer for you to pay in full and remain in the property. So like everything that was being told to me was contradicting to what the landlord was even saying. Like he didn't have a clue like what I was talking about when I emailed him trying to save my house, which I ended up saving my house. But he had the house, he was planning on selling the house. He had the house sold, he said, and then decided, or people backed out or whatever. But I was sending my rent to what I thought was still the landlord, but Delilah was taken on March 5th and my landlord died March 6th. And then I was taken March 8th. By the time I got out, I'm being told to keep sending my rent payments to the landlord that passed away on the 6th. So it was going in and sitting in a PO box or something, a PO box, and sitting there. Like the landlord wasn't getting my rent, even though I was like paying it. So when he decided not to sell the house, I finally made contact with him. We were able to like work all that out, but he was getting ready to start taking court like steps within the court to evict me because there was no communication. So like they weren't communicating anything. So he doesn't know that this money is sitting in this PO box at the dead landlord's address, at her, her address and stuff. So he don't know any of this, he didn't, like they were literally trying to like put me on the street. But that's what they do. That is all.
One wonders, well, what if that were to have happened? Would Evita ended up buying it? I'm thinking that why else would they try to do that unless they're trying to get it for another freaky trial, another money laundering freaking.
Well, you know what's funny is that Larry Mass, the lawyer she had that was helping her with her lawsuits or whatever, is who she had said that would help me with this eviction. Well, his lawyer, the homeowner's lawyer, was Laughlin. Laughlin is married to one of the judges that recused himself off my case, Judge Laughlin. So they're married. So
oh wow,
I think that I don't even think my landlord knew.
Can you say conflict of interest again?
Because they decided not to sell the house. I mean, could that have been somebody they put in there to like try to buy the house to get it rolling? The prosecuting attorney.
That's what I'm thinking.
The prosecuting attorney knew I was being evicted out of my home before I did.
Yeah, that's kind of sketchy if you ask me. If they knew about that, then there's definitely something else going on there.
Yeah, I'm in jail still, and they're talking about, the prosecutor attorney brings it up. Jessica Nagy brings it up in my bond hearing about why they should be able to keep me in jail because I have nowhere to do a home plan to because I'm being kicked out of my home. Doesn't sound like they weren't trying to set me up to keep me in jail, right? Like
It clearly sounds like that's what they were doing.
Yeah, well, and of course they definitely wanted me in jail because they did a third bond hearing. Like before I was even like out of jail, Wesley Bell was filing to have me put back in on the same bond. Like I'm not even out of jail. I'm still sitting in my cell and he's already got people filing paperwork to keep me there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
So do you want to give any last thoughts and maybe we'll wrap it up here?
No, just be careful who you trust. If lawyers aren't to be trusted, stop hiring them, stop playing the game. If nobody hires attorney and nobody plays the game, then they can't take our fucking kids anymore like that. Like
tell our viewers about that video, that guy in the Gallup video conference thing that the judge now, and how I tried to look him up and I only found one person that could have been a match, but is this person 61 and it doesn't look like him. So I couldn't even, I mean, when I looked, I could not find.
Okay, so when I wasn't certain when I found that video and we put it out of the AFCC and their lunch and learn where they're talking about never giving up their files, you know, and the man speaking, I didn't know his name, but I did find out it's Jeffrey Medler, and he became a judge in 2020. So, and his mother is a federal judge. So this man that's telling you how to get around HIPAA and colluding and doing all this stuff later on that year, you know, a few months later gets appointed to be a judge. You know, he's the one that says, if you come and ask me for my GAL records and you wanted my phone, I would throw my phone at you until you never ask me to be a GAL again. Little narky baby. Don't ever ask me again because you want something I don't want to give you.
What the hell?
Yeah. So now he's a judge. He's been a judge in the courthouse for a couple of years. But I don't believe he's in family. I think he's in criminal. But his mother is a federal judge from what I was reading. And then I asked you to do that check and like you said, you couldn't hardly find anything. But I found quite a few.
Let me show my viewers the only thing that came up when I did the search. Okay. Real quick. Let me share my screen so that we can do that. You want to go ahead and stop sharing so that it doesn't interfere?
Louis, I don't know if it's because I'm here in St. Louis. I found quite a few articles with him in there about like him as a judge and
but I'm talking about I did a background search.
I didn't find anything. I didn't even look up anything with his background. Well, actually, just nothing came up really. And there is one other thing I do want to mention before we go.
And there's no Jeffrey P. Medley that comes up here. Just Jeffrey David Medley, it's 48. Jeffrey Lee Medley. I don't see anything other for that. Let's try this again to see. Jeffrey.
His middle initial was a P.
Yeah. See, so I'm not even getting any decent results with that, people.
Yeah.
And even on my other account, I'm not.
Now, if you really listen to that AFCC video, that thing is really incriminating. It really is. I think it's more so than the GAL leaked video, myself personally.
Look, that's it. That's all that comes up on here.
That's crazy. I do want to bring up one more thing about what the courts do and how obvious it is and how unfortunate it is for like mothers or even fathers that find themselves in this situation, just any parent that finds himself where I've been. At the end of my judgment for the residential schedule and everything, like I said, they didn't carve anything out for me. They didn't give me anything, no birthdays, no nothing, no anything. They just gave me these therapeutic whatever sessions with whoever knows. With he's got soul, legal, and physical, so he can decide, I guess, how often, how long, whatever. It's totally up.
And that basically means never, pretty much.
Right. But then this is what is really,
So, you know, it's funny because he's the one actually alienating your daughter from you, not the other way around. He's doing exactly what he's claiming that you're doing.
But the GAL, when she wrote her referral, said that I was still alienating him from her. So go figure. But this is what they do. I just wanted to point this out because this is so disgusting and just gives the abuser so much power. And, you know, like James was very abusive. He had broke my back while we were together. He broke my nose. He would suffocate me while I was pregnant with Delilah. I mean, he was very, very abusive. And he would always go for my throat. And, you know, I've learned now that when someone goes for your throat, they're likely to be the one that would, you know, kill somebody. That's what they say statistically. I've heard. So, you know, I didn't know that when I was in the relationship. I was young, but now I know this. And, you know, he would always go for my throat. But in this judgment for the residential, it says no residential schedule is provided for this parenting plan, as the child shall reside with father 100% of the time, unless otherwise agreed by the parties.
Wow. And you know, he's never going to agree to that. He's been keeping Delilah from her mother the whole freaking time, and then trying to play it off like she's the one doing it. And the courts are ignoring all of this shit.
You know what that? No, they're not ignoring it. You know what that is? That's the courts going, fuck you. You should have kept your mouth shut.
Yeah, pretty much, but that's still illegal. They're still breaking the law.
This is what that's saying in my face, like unless otherwise agreed by the parties. Because
that's pretty much what it's saying. Yeah.
Ha ha. This is like, you know, when they just put something out there so blatantly, and you know, like with the fake news and stuff, and it's so in your face to like mock you. That's kind of like what this is right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking, they're sick. Like
they're freaking narcissists.
They're really, really sick people.
How in the hell can you hear that recording from the court when July was pleading with the judge not to send her with her dad? How could anybody in that court system hear that, know that, and ignore it willingly and still do it anyway and be complicit? Because they're racketeering and they're trafficking kids, people.
And they're really messing with their minds, because like my daughter has said she didn't want anything to do with me. But this is after months in a facility that has a lawsuit for child trafficking and labor on drugs that she don't need.
They're trafficking these kids through the government contracts, the federal government contracts on the state level for CPS and all this shit. They're trafficking them. That's the money they're getting. That's how they're doing it, people. They're not getting it under the table. They're doing it through the freaking federal government.
Because, you know, my daughter said in the medical records at the children's hospital before they got drugs in her and started drugging and messing with her mind, she said, my mom will never stop fighting for me. So that, you know, before her mind got diluted, she knew. She knew. And she knows. She still knows.
She does.
Yep. And I will never stop fighting for her.
Damn right.
Never ever.
You know, like you said, remember how you said she's a fake it to make it mode, you know, like, so we don't know, like, is she really believe that, or she
would fake it to make it while she was at her dad's. She used exact words to me before. So, you know, but there's a GAL call that I had where I'm telling the GAL, what kid do you know that's going to make sexual abuse allegations about a person that they're being forced to live with and continue saying that?
Right. None.
Knowing that they have to live with this person and that their mom is hundreds of miles away, because we live far. Montana's far from Missouri. And that there's no hope. Like, a kid is not going to keep persisting that. Yes, they're going to retract that. Yes, they're going to stop saying it. Yes, they're going to fall back. Why? Who's there to protect them? There wasn't nobody protecting them when they opened their mouth the first time.
Right.
And now they're forced back to that abuser.
That's such bullshit.
Change their tone. Of course they shut up and change their tone. They want to survive, don't they?
Yeah, they're not gonna incriminate themselves.
They want to survive. You know what I mean? Like we go into natural survival mode. Like the way she was acting could have just been her natural way of surviving. and nothing more and nothing less.
Oh
than
yeah,
that.
you're talking about your reference to your daughter. Oh yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
I actually was when I made that comment, I was referring to the courts how they're trying to survive, like into getting away with their crimes, basically, and that's why.
Oh no, I'm talking about.
But yeah, no, I got you.
These claims, and then the GAL telling me that she's saying that it didn't happen, blah 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 blah. And there's a recording. I mean, it's a good recording.
You want to? Do you know where it's at?
Yeah. Then I'm
Bring it
talking,
up, then share it with our viewers before we wrap it up.
and I'm asking her this stuff, like how, like what child would continue, because she's saying all this ignorant stuff to me, like real cocky. I don't know if you caught in one of the audios, she was laughing at me when she said that my daughter didn't want to have a relationship with me. She was laughing.
Oh wow.
During that, which was kind of sick, if you ask me.
That's really sick.
They're not okay in the head or the heart, for that matter. I mean, you wonder about their kids, like how they have treated and raised their own.
Jesus, they're probably trafficking their own goddamn freaking kids.
No, they save that for us peasants. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised.
No. That's for you guys, the nobodies.
See, but what makes them think that a system that's going to do that isn't going to come after their kids eventually? That's what I don't understand. How can they have that such a disconnect? How can they be so complicit? Fucking bastards.
Never been connected to start with. Like,
but don't they realize that by being complicit in this, they're inviting them to come after their kids too, and they're going to do it eventually. Nobody's immune from this shit. We're all at risk. They don't realize that they're just fucking themselves.
Well, I mean,
use my language, but I'm
a lot of this is population control.
A lot of this shit really makes me very angry. That people are getting away with this, that people in positions of power are doing this and they're getting away with it and nobody's doing anything. Nobody's being held accountable. Where the fuck is the accountability? Where's the fucking DOJ? Where's the FBI? Where the fuck are they coming to prosecute these motherfuckers? They're nowhere to be found. I'm fucking pissed. This is bullshit. This is wrong.
I mean, who do you turn to? Stephen, you've been talking with victims, or not, I don't like calling them victims, but people that have been brought into the family court that's been dealing with you. You've talked to a lot of people. You've done a lot of interviews. You've met a lot of people. Who are they to turn to?
Right. And it's funny because they're all wanting to go federal, but then when you try and we were trying to get this out there, nobody's looking at it. Nobody's doing anything.
The federal court's not even really for us. Like, that's not how you do it.
Right.
But you name me one attorney that has actually stood up and did anything for anything.
No, not a one that I can think of, besides a few maybe possible advocate attorneys
coming together in Washington, D.C., and not one attorney shows up besides Connie. Besides, like, I'm talking about any other attorney. Like, where are the attorneys?
Right. Where are they?
You have one attorney.
Connie Regalai was the only one there, I believe.
Look what she's gone through.
Oh no, there was another lawyer there too. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she spoke. There was another lawyer there too. Yeah, there was two
lawyers.
Yeah.
Out of how many families and children coming up missing, and like, 2 lawyers, that's good. But we need a team.
We need a team. We need a whole group of lawyers
that know the real way to, because what people think is going on in the courtroom is not going on. It's not really, it's something different.
It's color of law shit's going on there.
We're right. And that's not even like real. It's like
it's illegal law, people. Illegal law is what color of law is.
Like, when they moved my criminal case from one courtroom to another, they had to put a printout, a big sheet of paper printed out with my information on it, taped to the docket, because they don't put me on it.
You find it?
Yeah, they don't put me on the docket,
Go ahead and
so they
share
had
your
to like
screen.
tape it to the docket. I know it's the preview. I'm trying to get it to open. But
Whoops, I accidentally hit the share on mine by accident.
they just had to tape it up. They taped it up there on the board, because I wouldn't have known what courtroom they were in. Crazy. Then I read an article about that stuff. I swear this, like, my computer has been bad all day. It's not one to play.
Share your screen first.
Oh, that's not gonna matter, but okay. It's not one to play though.
What?
Yeah.
That is lame.
That's totally lame, because it was good.
Well, let's give it a second here, see if we can't get it up and running.
See if I can share my
Because
screen.
I want our viewers to hear this for themselves. There we go.
It was
Share.
good. It was I was
Make sure to
definitely
share your
on one
cemetery.
that day. I was really on one that day. Like screw you, Kim Whittle. And then I always had to get a good jab in on her for Maria. I was helping her with her battle against her. Is that working? I think it's doing it now. Okay, it started.
Hello, this is Kim.
Hi, Kim. This is Angela.
I'm gonna
Angela, Dad's motion, so I'm just saying.
I'm just asking.
It's his motion, so he will probably just going to be James.
Interrogatories, no GAL report. I mean, it's a shit show. It's a fixed case. It's what it is. I mean, what else do we need to talk about other than it's what it is?
Okay. The one thing I did want to talk to you about was, the possibility of coming up with a resolution.
And what's that?
Well, that's if you don't want to have the trial and we agree upon something, we might have more options.
What are we going to agree upon?
Let me blow it up some. Sorry.
I mean, like, what is there to agree upon? Like, for real.
Did it stop? That wasn't right.
Let the whole thing play, Angie. It's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds long. Let it go from start to finish.
This must not be the right one.
Hello, this is Kim.
Hi, Kim. This is Angela.
Hey, Angela, how are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Good. So I just wanted to talk to you briefly, so thanks for talking to me. I have talked to Delilah again. I've talked to her a few times now. I mean, her position is still the same. She really hasn't wavered on what she wants as far as custody going forward. So, I'm going to advocate for her. I don't know that my recommendation is going to be exactly what she wants. So, the judge will know what she wants, and then I will also make my recommendation. Do you know what? We start at 9:30 tomorrow, and this is Dad's motion, so he'll bring forward his witnesses first. Are you planning to bring witnesses?
He has witnesses?
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm just asking.
It's his motion, so he will bring forth his evidence first.
But does he have witnesses to the case?
I don't know who his witnesses are.
Well, either do I.
I don't believe they've disclosed anyone, so I think it's probably just going to be James.
They haven't disclosed anything.
Right.
Why is that?
You can ask his attorney if you want, but I mean,
no discoveries, no interrogatories, no GAL report. I mean, it's a shit show. It's a fixed case. It's what it is. I mean, what else do we need to talk about other than it's what it is?
Okay. The one thing I did want to talk to you about was, the possibility of coming up with a resolution.
And what's that?
Well, that's if you don't want to have the trial and we agree upon something, we might have more options.
What are we going to agree upon?
Well,
I mean, like, what is there to agree upon? Like, for real.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Oh, your mic is muted, Angie. Turn your mic back on. Unmute yourself.
It stopped because the clips are done, but there is more audio, but it's because of the clips where I have it laid down. Like, is your computer acting stupid? Because mine's acting really stupid.
My other one's acting stupid. Not so much this one, but my other one is.
Like, I can't even get it out of full screen.
Good.
It's all right.
Like I
So I just wanted to
like my stuff is actually
talk to you briefly. So thanks for.
Oh wow, maybe stop sharing your screen. So if it's not,
yeah, it's acting really crazy.
yeah,
today.
it's a really weird. There definitely is some sort of interference. People, I've seen it myself when we were editing the going through and getting together the clips. Somebody had changed her shit while we were, and she was screen sharing, and somebody was doing the mouse movement on the wave pad, and they were doing something in the background, and it wasn't her.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I by a fluke happened to get a screen share of what this person was doing on her shit.
I'm like, I'm not doing that.
I'm like, yeah, you are. You got WavePad open, and I can see it right now. And she swears up and down, and then I was like, well, okay, so you're not in WavePad, so what the fuck's going on? So I told her try sharing your screen, and then it shared what she was really on, which was Canva. But I swear to God, I saw a mouse movement going up and down and exporting shit in WavePad.
You know, they've been doing that, like my computer's
like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, there's definitely some weird kinky shit going on some of our systems for sure.
I don't know what happens to other people's computers, but mine likes to have like, I'll open up my computer and all of a sudden I'll have like 3 copies of everything in my files. Like all my files will be on triplets. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Files. So I have a lot of court files, and then the stuff we do with the podcast, you know, I got a lot of files there, and then like everything would be in like triplets, you know, like 3 of everything. So it's like probably why it makes my computer slow. I'm sure that has something to do.
Alrighty, well, that was a great update, and we'll keep our viewers updated for sure, Angie. Really appreciate you giving our viewers the latest on your case, and we need people to show up for her trial August 1st. We need court watchers. We need citizen court watchers. We need people. We need people to come in masses and keep their eyes on these bastards and hold them accountable, so they can't do any illegal shit. Because that's the only way she's going to get any justice here.
Well, really, what I want is people to really learn from like these recordings and the stuff I show. Like, I really want people to like learn from it, so they know, so they can see it coming, so they can try to protect themselves, so they know what they're fighting against. You know, so maybe they can like not end up in the same situation and like avoid family court altogether. That's like your best bet. But I want people to see, like, I don't want people to think that this stuff, you know, that all these people are crazy, because the people that are thinking that we're crazy right now,
we've seen the evidence.
The thing is,
they are not.
Their kids next, so they need to like open their eyes a little bit and stop thinking that the crazy ones are crazy, because they say those things, because it's coming their way. If it's not their children, it'd be their grandchildren, it'd be their nieces, their nephews, their cousins. It's going to be somebody, but it's going to come into their lives.
If they can do this to her, folks, they can do it to any one of us.
Oh yeah, if I don't have rights, you don't have rights. If you know one doesn't have rights, none of us do. So
exactly, and
just learn from it. Maybe
that definitely, and you know, don't take anything for granted, because you know, you never know, man. Like, they use these oh, she's got mental issues, you know, yada yada. They use that as a smear tactic to make the idea of what they're talking about look crazy, but it's not. That's a intentful tactic that's being used.
Well, they did that with me being on like all these drugs from the beginning until the very end, even with me giving them a hair follicle, passing it, but the marijuana that I had a medical card for that I told them about. So,
but yet they're trying to act like you're some big bad drug addict that has a huge problem. Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
After drug test, still want to try to go down that narrative. So much.
I seen in the ruling it was still trying to use that narrative there too in the wording.
Well, they're still using it in this final judgment too. I mean, she blatantly just says that I don't want to have Zoom calls with my daughter, and plus, I'm mother is also addicted to illegal drugs. It's just thrown in there. After, you know, talk about, you know, my time with Delilah, and then that's just randomly thrown in there.
Yeah, let's just smear her, people. She's not only drug, she's on this marijuana, and that is legally so.
And, you know, I don't hide that. Like, I don't.
She has no reason to. She's got a legal medical card for it.
Judge me for that, like whatever.
But they're trying to make it look like she's on meth and this all other stuff. Get the fuck out of here. In the trial,
they were saying meth at one point, and then they're saying heroin. That, you know, I was talking about coming off heroin on, you know, one of these shows, and all these other crazy, like, what are you talking about?
Where did they get that from?
I have no idea.
Say it again now that you said it.
Well, yeah, now they'll bring it up again, saying that I was talking about coming off heroin because I mentioned heroin. On
Yeah,
the show.
I know. Yeah, we're not talking about that. She said that she did that.
But
we're talking
that's-
about what you guys are claiming she did, motherfuckers. So let's get that context clear from the get
They
go.
claimed all this stuff in the trial and brought zero evidence. They didn't show any evidence. They had nothing that they said. They had nothing to back it up. Nothing.
They absolutely had nothing, and they've ignored all the evidence you brought to bear.
And they offered nothing to back anything up. Yeah. And then I proved that he was lying on the stand, and the judge just went on about it didn't matter. I proved that they trafficked my daughter on an unlawful TOR. It didn't matter. I mean, they literally trafficked my child, and I proved it. Like, I have the proof to show you where they trafficked her.
She
This was
does,
not
folks. We've
a
shown
custody
it many
case.
times.
This
There's
was
plenty
child
of it.
trafficking at its finest, and it went on deaf ears. It didn't matter because they're all working together. So it was just a play. I was just in there playing the role.
But we got to keep fighting, don't we? Said, but we got to keep fighting, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Because eventually it'll be our, we'll be able to manifest our own realities. Like, we'll get rid of all the lying, so we can have like a real reality instead of a false narrative going on.
Right. Totally. All right, folks. That was our update for today, our spur of the moment midweek show to give you guys some updates. We were going to do a pre-show, post-show, but we didn't have time at the rally, so we're doing it now. That's why we did this today's show, folks. So I promised Angie that she'd be able to get her updates out there, and we did that, and we covered a couple other things too. I think it was a good show. Say goodnight, Angie.
Mark your calendars.
Mark your calendars, folks, and the sacred Lovisa, the loud warrior. Let's all be loud warriors, shall we? Good night, everybody.
Good night.